I am so excited. Often I get asked, what is the right platform, Candace? Should I be on QuickBooks Desktop or QuickBooks Online? And I literally get asked this every single day, both on YouTube and on Facebook and in emails and everywhere. So I thought, why not do a video for you? So I put together a little bit of the pros and cons in my mind. I use both desktop and online, and I want you to let me know which one is the right one for you. So with the pandemic, I've been hearing a lot of new business owners are starting businesses. And for example, we were interviewing somebody the other day to add to Team Candace, and she has like a little boutique. She's like, I don't even know what to track. So let me know if that's you, or if you've been using QuickBooks for a long time and you're thinking about switching, or you're wondering if you have the right one. Let me know below. What are you and what are you going to do? As well as we go through it, let me know which one you picked. So if you don't know, you're new around here. Hello, I'm Candace, and I love helping business owners create confidence with QuickBooks all year long versus only thinking about QuickBooks during tax time. And I love to give you guys hacks and tips to make it easier, as well as if you're a bookkeeper and you're like, I just want to know how to do this. I love helping you as well. So sometimes we have tax professionals. The people I love making the largest impact for, though, are those of you who QuickBooks is not your zone of genius and you are helping your business, helping your husband or your own business with QuickBooks. So let's jump right into it. I actually put some slides together today because I thought it would be kind of fun. Let me know what you think. So within QuickBooks, a lot of times what you guys are asking is like, okay, which one is right for me? So things to consider. One that I always tell you guys is, are you going to be using QuickBooks just on your same computer all the time, or are you going to be using it in different areas? One is not better than the other. These are just the things to consider, as I called it before. So if you are in a location where internet access is slow or it's hard to get to, that's something else to consider. If you're like, no, I want to be able to use my phone, I want to be able to use it on any computer, I want to be able to use it anywhere, the cloud is what I love, then you are definitely more going to be a cloud-based user. Okay, so these are just things like start making little notes based off the questions, and you can let me know below what you think. So what I would consider the things I like, I did one for both. What are the things I like for desktop that I lean towards desktop for, and I lean towards online for? Okay, it's kind of like saying, Candace, should I pick an iPhone or should I pick a Android? And it's all user preference depending on the features that you want. They will both track your numbers, okay? Just like you can make a phone call on each, but it's how you get around. Does that make sense? All right, so one of the things I love about QuickBooks Desktop is you can have unlimited company files. So you buy and install QuickBooks Desktop on your computer, hey Christy, and then you use it directly from your computer, okay? We'll be talking about that more later. But you can have unlimited, where on the online, QuickBooks Online, you pay per company file that you have. All right, so that's one of the benefits I like to QuickBooks Online. If you have multiple companies, like your husband has construction, and you have rentals, and you have your house cleaning business, and you have this, and they're different entities, you want them in different files, that is one of the pros to desktop, okay? Another thing that I love about desktop is that the class feature is already included. So one of the things you'll learn, and I'll share with you later, is that on QuickBooks Online, you pay per the features that you want. With the desktop, the online you pay per features. The desktop, a lot of the features are already included. So if you're going to have rental properties or multiple locations, it's another reason that I like desktop. Something else to consider is for desktop, this is one of the things, this is all personality preference. Somebody who chooses online versus desktop, one's, like I said so many times, not one better than the other. It's all preference, okay? So if you have questions too, let me know if you're getting to join me live. If you want to be able to buy, install, and own the software, and you buy it once and you can use it for multiple years, that would also be where the desktop is more of the right fit for you. I kind of have that tendency of a personality. I kind of want to buy and own something versus pay for it monthly. As well as if you do not have great internet access. So like for me, when I lived in the country, sometimes it's frustrating running a business online because my internet was slow. So if you're a desktop user, unless you're processing payroll, using bank feeds, using something online benefits, You do not need internet access for the desktop. It's installed on your computer. It does not matter for those of you that is a factor. As well as you can always keep your files. So one of the things that's not great about QuickBooks Online is if you ever stop using the feature, you no longer have access to your files unless you download them and add them. Hey Sheila, it's nice to see you. So something to also consider is that you on the desktop will own, like you have your file and you can go back and access it for as long as you want on your QuickBooks file. The other thing is that you can review years later on down the road. All right. So the benefits to online, okay? You can access it from anywhere. You can grab your phone if you're logging into sometimes your office computer or your home computer. You can access it from anywhere. If you want to grab your husband's computer, you're anywhere. It's all cloud-based, so you can access it. As well as bank feeds. So you can use bank feeds on the desktop version, but usually you have to pay unless you do the workaround where you download and import it, and then typically that's free from your bank. With QuickBooks Online, you can use bank feeds, but you want to make sure that this is a disclaimer because I can't help but give you guys tips along the way, that you're verifying your transactions properly. So yes, they still come through the bank feed, but you still need to sync your vendor. You still need to say, it came through as 76 gas station. That means 76 gas station in my QuickBooks Online or desktop version. Okay, that's a bank feed training in general. And then you still need to verify where it's going. And if you want to track invoices and payments to invoices, the bank feed is going to be more of a matching feature than it's going to be your main data entry. So this comes down to deciding how, with the bank feed, how you want to enter your transactions. For example, with credit cards, it's really slick. With your bank account, it depends on if you're using invoices, sales receipts, if you're using the in vendors, enter bills, whether you're online or desktop, okay? But for the online, the bank feeds sync easier. They're always being updated automatically. I find that it just works better. So if that's something you're looking for, you want to go with online. If you want to be able to use lots of different apps, QuickBooks Online has more apps. It's the way of the future, and that's more of what's going on. Then you're going to also want to go with QuickBooks Online. If you want to be able to have different users easily accessing your file, you have a bookkeeper, you want your tax professional, you don't want to back up your QuickBooks or use one of the cloud-based features, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Also, online would be great for you because they basically are going to log in through the cloud, and you can give them access to the things that you want, but they can use it easily. The other thing that is a benefit to the online is it is automatically backing up your QuickBooks, and you don't have to worry about making sure you back it up. If you're a desktop user, you want to make sure you back up your QuickBooks. I say as often as you don't want to lose it, because if you accidentally have a problem, you spill something on your computer or your computer crashes and you have it backed up, you will lose your QuickBooks file. But you can do backups, so that's totally up to you. Let me know so far, is it making sense, the difference between online and desktop? And are you leaning towards one over the other based off what you've heard so far? One other thing that I wanted to make sure I added is that with the online, because you can use it from your phone, you can snap receipts and help enter it into your QuickBooks if that's a feature that you want. Not everybody wants that, but some love it. Yes, our community was sharing recently, you can still use Neat Receipts for desktop. If you're like, I'm a desktop user and I still want to do the receipts, you can use Neat Receipts, just so you know. All right, you guys can tell. I love both. I use QuickBooks Online for my own, for some of my business, one of my businesses in particular. And then I have desktop for like my rentals and stuff. But for my online, I have a bookkeeper that helps me. I use QuickBooks Online. I use them both. Part of the reason that I use them both, honestly, 100%, is because I want to stay sharp for you, for when you ask me questions. And the best way for me to do that is to practically use it. And so that's partly why I use it as well, the online. But my heart will always be with desktop, which you could probably tell by the way I share my ideas. But they do benefit both depending on what you need. I have some more tips for you. So additionally, you want to ask your tax professional Do they prefer online or desktop? Are they okay with you being an online user or a desktop user? Some tax professionals absolutely love QuickBooks Online and some do not. Okay, everybody has a different preference. Okay, depends probably how open they are to new changes and new updates. There are limitations to what's possible to use on the online. Like if you're a traditional desktop user and you know the workarounds and you want to use certain functionalities, with QuickBooks Online, the goal was to make it user friendly for everyone. Where QuickBooks Desktop, I think, was traditionally more of a something bookkeepers used or accountants used. And so some of the functionalities are higher, like the customization to your invoices on desktop is higher. Some of the workarounds for payroll and things, there's just some features that you have that you don't have with the online. But in general, a lot of people love online for clarity. Okay, so check with your tax professional because you want to make sure that whoever you have will work with what you want. Now, if you are a bookkeeper or you're thinking about going into bookkeeping business, so sometimes people come in and they learn QuickBooks from me and they're like, I love it so much that not only do I want to help my husband with his books, I'm actually going to start a bookkeeping business on the side. I get that asked often, so I wanted to address that as well. One thing to consider is what are your clients already using when you're thinking about starting your bookkeeping business? And are they local or are they out of the area? So if they're local, are you going to be driving to their office? Especially with everything going on right now, a lot more people are going to online or using some of the cloud-based options with desktop to do that, okay? Something else to consider when you're thinking about doing bookkeeping, we could do a whole class on this by itself, which is, are you going to be entering your data or just reviewing data? So there's different ways to do bookkeeping. It's you're in charge of their books and you just give them reports, or they want to be able to go in and see what you're doing. You're both equally entering some things, or they're entering the data, but you're doing the reconciliation. Do you understand? So all of these factors will play a part in how you're going to be doing your bookkeeping business. Christy said, I'm a desktop user and I back up each day. It depends how much data you enter, if that's necessary. The other thing you want to consider for your bookkeeping business is, like I said, who wants to access the file as well. So if you're like, I wish I could use the desktop, but I like the benefits of cloud. You guys have heard me mention that you can do cloud-based, because what happens is often people will say, Candace, I want to be able to access it from my office and I want to access it from my home. That's happening more now with the pandemic. The problem with you doing backups and restoring them is sometimes you overwrite the wrong file. They don't speak to each other. So something you can do if you're a desktop user is you can consider doing QBox or another cloud-based service. We've teamed up and affiliated with QBox. I've done workshops for them before. We have a workshop. If you're interested, you can always go to CandaceCamper.com/QBox. And what that is you still use your desktop, but you can access the file from different places. So we have a whole workshop. You can reach out if you want us to provide that for you on learning how to use QBox. With that being said, it is an option if you're kind of like, I'm really liking these cloud-based functionalities, but still want desktop. I want to give you guys that as a tip. So then you might be saying, okay, Candace, what's the cost difference? So for some people, the choice is based off functionality. For other people, it's based off cost. And sometimes it's a combination of both depending on your personality. I have the type of personality where I like to really I do all the research. I do all the pros and cons. I write it down. I think about it. You may be like me. You can let me know. So online, there is usually introductory rate, which I'll show you in a moment. And then there's after the introductory rate, depending on how you join, the price change. So you can go from $25 up to $150 monthly with QuickBooks Online. So here is an example. I thought it would be easiest if I did a little screenshot of their website. So you could do Essentials, Plus, or Advanced. Each of these gives you different functionalities, okay? So you'll notice that you can start with $12.50 a month, but then it increases to $25 after a period of time. Right now, when you go to their website, I believe they have 50% off for 3 months, okay? We teamed up with them and we did something special for you guys. If you want to go to QuickBooks Online, and you haven't already joined and you're a new user, new account, we do have it where you get 50% off for 12 months at CandiceCamper.com/QBO. You'll see it right here. If you want it, there's no pressure. You can do what you want. It's just we worked it out with them where you can get 12 months as a promotion. Now, you'll see on here that the $12.50, or it will be $25 later, the Simple Start, has you can track these certain functionalities. With Essentials, you can do this. Everything adds extra stuff. So as you get more advanced, more things you can do. As well as you can also upgrade and add payroll for additional fees, different things like that. So I just want to be clear how they work, okay? It's best if you look at each one and you say, do I need this feature? Do I not? Do I need to provide 1099s? Do I not? All 1099s you can do at any level. But it's more about how you track it. Can you accept payments? There's these different things it shows you right here. You can kind of see what adds on. Manage bills, time tracking, you can have more users. So if you don't need more users, then that's fine, okay? Makes sense? Everybody good? For desktop, remember you're gonna buy and own it. You pay usually one time. And then typically we upgrade about every 3 years. And it depends if you're using, you don't have to upgrade. I have a whole video on that. You guys have probably seen it. You only need to upgrade if you're using some of the online features like bank feeds, emailing your invoices, doing merchants, things like that. Otherwise, you can just keep. I have people who use older versions, but otherwise, every 3 years you upgrade. It comes with all functionalities within the desktop, except you cannot do payroll. You have to pay to upgrade payroll. And the bank feeds, sometimes you have upgrades. Does that make sense? So this is kind of like, I'm not saying one's better than the other. It's all choice. You can buy your QuickBooks Pro for $200. They have like a special, or you can do your payroll enhanced. You guys have heard me say, I actually like going to like Costco or Best Buy. If you're gonna do payroll, I typically recommend doing the 288 is what it was yesterday when I took the screenshot for you guys, or 189. So what this gives you is both the newer version of QuickBooks, but you can also do enhanced up to a certain number of employees, then you pay additionally. So this is another, it's a bundle where it puts it together. You can, if you're not a Costco member, you can get it on Best Buy. There's other places where you get the bundle. But I do recommend the bundle because it will save you. So now you get to decide. Oh, and you can ask me questions if you have any. Do you want online or desktop? It's really going to come down to the functionalities that you need. If you want to be in different places and you like apps and you like to access it from your phone, you definitely want to consider QuickBooks Online. If you're like, nah, I just want to install it, I'll do it on my computer when I'm around my computer, then you could consider the desktop, but it's totally up to you. If you go back and forth between different offices, you really want to consider spending a little extra money and doing like the QBox or another cloud-based where it sits on the cloud. For example, I went to a construction company the other day and here locally, and their internet went off, or their electricity went off. So their server crashed. They have multiple users. And I said, you might want to consider getting a cloud-based server so that it doesn't give you errors, because they couldn't get back into their files. They had multiple companies and they couldn't get back in. So is there anything that you guys, any questions for those of you who are getting joined live about online versus desktop that you think I didn't cover? I tried to consider kind of the pros and the cons. Is there anything I didn't cover that you're curious about? Let me know. As well as if you're thinking about, hey, I kind of like to see these in action. I'm going to be doing a training, so you can join to find out. And I kind of do them side by side, like this one or this one. And you can find the training at CandiceCamper.com/training. You can join to be notified when we're doing the classes and register for the classes. All right, so let's see. I see a couple questions. Make sure if you're like, I kind of want to see online versus desktop, I'll be doing it there, like showing examples of each. Okay, so Christy said, are 1099s, let's see here, are 1099s, our payroll is 1099s. Is there any reason a business would use payroll program for that? Okay, so payroll and 1099s are two different things, Christy. So true payroll is where you take out taxes and then you pay your employees accordingly, right? So they have their gross wages minus their fees is what you pay them. So 1099s are independent contractors, and every state has different rules. California hardly lets you do any 1099s anymore for what's considered an employee. So employee is going to be W-2. You're going to take out taxes. You're going to pay taxes. You're going to file 941s. You're going to file your state taxes. And at the end of the year, you're going to have annual reports and the W-2 that you're going to provide them. And then you're going to send the IRS the W-2s and the W-3. Okay. With 1099s, it's an independent contractor that they handle their own taxes. You just write them a check. They get at least $600 for the year. They qualify in all the ways that we qualify. That's another training. Then you would send them a 1099 at the end of the year. So, is there any reason a business would use payroll program for that? No, not if they're true 1099s. In QuickBooks, you can mark them. You get the W-9 from them, so you know their EIN number, their mailing address. You normally want to do that before you ever give them $600 so that you have the data you need in case you can't get a hold of them later. You input that into QuickBooks. Then you're going to take that data and you're going to map it behind the scenes, whether you're an online user or a desktop user. And then at the end of the year, anybody who matches the criteria that needs a 1099, you will send them a 1099 at the end of the year. Did that answer your question? You good? Awesome. I love it when you guys come live because then you get to ask me questions. Anything else before I go? Which one, let me know below, was this beneficial? What was your aha moment of like the difference between online desktop? Was it more clear? I try to like write down all the benefits, the pros and cons. Are you happy with the version you have? Do you feel you picked the right one to begin with? And then, or are you going to be changing? Are you like, I'm going to go to the other one? And if anything else, and you're curious, come join me for my class that I'm going to do, my training, so you can see them, like the examples of each one. CandiceCamper.com/training. I'll put it right here. I look forward to seeing you guys soon, and I'll be back for another training. Let me know what you thought of this. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day. It looks like I answered all of your questions. So thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting me. I look forward to seeing you on our class. Have a great day. Toodaloo. I'm excited. Let me know. Are you an online user or desktop? Are you happy? You want to change it? Let me know down below. I can't wait. I'll come back and see what you guys have to say. See you soon. Bye. Thanks for being here.